one night called Road.
I would like to talk about what is considered illegal parking in the city of Lakeside. First of all, the signs in McKay's are illegal signs that says no parking, force X amount of parking time. They're totally illegal. Because across, there is on that people's property, no parking signs, which are also illegal because people are not entitled to the whole front of their property as no parking. That's a city right away. It is a illegal parking all over the city.
We'll get back to that.
And I think it's up to the city council to do something about that.
We have no law enforcement for county.
But the city does not have an ordinance or a law against any of this parking. Now, one of my things that has really irritated with is I spoke to Deputy Boswell this evening about a situation that supposedly someone from City Hall had called the sheriff's department and asked them to take care of these RVs, the, RV little homes that they haul around that are parked in front of the Presbyterian, the church. That is the city street. In case people don't know, Coos County has 8th Street, Airport Way, this side of Park, and North Lake from the bridge down to where the gravel begins on the other side. Okay. I've been informed the Coos County Sheriff's Department can come and mark cars, even on the city right away. Well, it's true. Under ORS 818, I think it is, it says the law enforcement, the state allows them to tag these cars. But it also says they have to be in causing a hazard. Not just put them away. So I think the city needs to look into this. And my problem is there are inoperable vehicles and RVs all over this town that are parked on the city right away. But there's only in one spot in town that somebody in this town is against these people. Maybe that could be the person reporting, because they are homeless. They have a house though, so they're not housed. So my thing is, this is discrimination. I've never seen the discrimination like it's occurring in this town ever. Do I like inoperable vehicles? Hell no. I never have liked them. But I do not like discrimination against people that you think are less of a person than you are. Well, I don't know who's doing this in this town, but they need to get a life. Okay, my next thing is, it's hard for some of us to go online and get the packets from here. What if the city would email it every month or wherever they are, the events of the month? And can't you CC? I mean, you could put it up and have everybody's email address and CC it and send it to their computer.
Naomi Mann. There's a spot on the website where you can type in your email. And there's a spot on the website where you can type in your email, and when we do post them, they should get automatically sent to you.
I have never seen, because I had trouble with the website,
Yeah, it's,
because at 85, we didn't have computers
yeah,
until I was 50 something.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could have a way that people could just leave their emails, then
yeah.
something, I don't know,
I would gladly help you sign up too, if you'd like.
take my, anyway, that's my biggest things, and I know that there's things down here, but
We are
I don't
too
want
long.
to.
Okay,
It's quick. Please ask the people that oversees the ATVs to please not drive them down the alleys. The alleys are all sand. And as they go down, you know what happens? All of this sandy stuff comes in in your backyard while you're sitting there. And now you're eating sand. Okay? That's it.
thank you. All right. Been having a hard time reading this one. Maureen? Or oh, okay, sorry, I can't. Maureen, okay. No, it was just the writing, but
Maureen, one trying to replace the window and the doors at 15%. We wrote a grant last year to the city, the state of Oregon, received $25,000 to do flooring. So our fear, the doors will leak and that will ruin the flooring. So I'm just wanting to ask why you're thinking of now canceling this contract, as you've already done the roof contract supposed to start soon, and the heating contract, we have the new heaters, and that was also part of the whole package that I understood from the funds you received a year ago to do some infrastructure. That's my question, why you guys are talking about canceling the window and door.
I think it was brought back up because when we did fill out the ARPA portal, we had obligated the funds towards salary and a few other things, so technically we didn't need to spend the money if we didn't agree that that's what we wanted to continue, because now it would be double obligating the money. So it got brought back up because that's the only contract that hasn't been fulfilled or done yet. So yeah, so it's still.
Doors that. And allocation of funds, I've been in the nonprofit doing accounting for 4 years. I understand all those money things. However, these things have promised to the senior center for 3 years. And we are kind of, frustrated with all of it because we write grants with that anticipation in mind. And it's big, the building is. We don't really have any recourse with the building because it does not belong to us. That's where we're at with our. That was my only comment, asking why and hoping that you guys will change your mind and do the repairs at the windows and the doors that really needed. Thank you.
All right. Is there any other comments? No? All right. Moving to old business, we start with the meeting minutes from May 8th. Has everyone had a chance to review them?
And I have to tell you that the minutes are now being done by AI, and we go in and we make the changes. So if there's things that we didn't see and if you, that's the detail that they provide in the minutes, so. Just to let you know.
Have a motion?
On page 2, second paragraph, Peggy Dickinson was not the chair of the budget committee. That was when the sheriff, he was budget officer.
Okay. So, so Linda Sherrick, okay,
And on page 4, the second paragraph down, it has vote, and there is nothing there.
okay. Page 4. Okay, fix this, find this, okay,
And I'm sorry, back on page 2, the very last sentence, it says motion was second by. There's nobody there.
okay,
And then page 4 was the vote not listed,
okay,
so there was.
2 places,
And then, yes, and then the next paragraph down, Lakeside Business Request from the council, the, there's no. There's no information there.
okay, so you'll need the votes. Okay, easy fixes,
I just. We are on page 4.
Okay.
Under Lakeside Business Owners requesting city council. Paul Farnham, Harnum.
yeah, I couldn't read the
Yeah.
sign in.
It's okay. All right. Is there any other corrections? Yeah, Councilor Ward.
First paragraph of page 2. Next to that, it says, "Code provided written proof from the city planner and city attorney stating that it was inappropriate for a council member to speak during this trial." And that's actually. She said she had obtained opinions from those parties, and that's her characterization. She didn't provide any materials.
Okay, so where was that? And, exact, on the, it's
First
page 2, first
page
paragraph,
2,
okay.
first paragraph, next to last.
Oh, okay. So, code provided written proof from the city planner, that sentence,
Sentence inspection.
okay. That's AI. That's all. They did, that's 100% AI.
All right. There's no other corrections to the motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes as with correction.
Motion's been made by Councilor Miller to approve the minutes with the corrections and seconded by Councilor Pointer. Any more discussion? All right, we're moving to a vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Now move into item number 8, review equipment rental agreement with Lions Construction for barge rental for the flood.
The only difference in that is that it was the original one that I brought to the council had $600, but then they found out that they need 1,200 because they need to use all 3 barges to have enough room for the fireworks.
Okay. So we just need to approved that's the only change.
That's the only
Okay, got it.
change. Mhm.
All right.
But it's a perfect segue for the fire department came just this afternoon and they said that they need people to help clean off the barges after the event. This is a segue for that.
Okay. All right, so I have a motion. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I will approve the, well, with agreement with Lions Construction for Fort Powell.
All right, motion's been made by Counselor Poyer to approve the equipment rental agreement for 4th of July, and seconded by Counselor Harden. For any more discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, item number 9, resolution 2025-02, adopting public records management policy. And this one just keeps on coming back up. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just using, we start with the template from the month before. And then we just do it. And so our question is, do we want to do it or do we want to I don't know how you withdraw or, the resolutions or however it's done. So that's,
This is the one that in, March, you authorized me to do the ordinance and use the state form. And I've done that, but we were gonna set a, workshop so everybody can review it and would be ready to go. But not you, so it's ready to go whenever you wanna set something.
Okay. I know there's gonna be a request for another special meeting for wastewater discussion. So why don't at the end, let's figure out if we need another meeting, the workshop for, we can set another meeting date. That sounds all right with everyone, once we kind of know.
So we could basically, deny this, cancel it. We're not gonna do a resolution to get this off the docket.
yeah, yes, that's what we're doing because they were made, they were presented. And then what do we do now with withdraw? Maybe you guys have a better word for what we would do for our next, or,
So, you know, then that way we can get it off because
Mhm.
we presented that.
Mhm.
ordinance.
yes.
Yeah. So why don't we remove this as a agenda item and then we'll set a workshop.
For for resolution 02.
Yeah,
Okay,
We want to just void this out and that number out. And
That's-
the record,
yes,
but we're gonna void the
and what about 2025-03, adopting the records and trust policy? Is that separate?
no,
Okay,
void out from 3 also.
yeah,
okay,
But then, no, I'm sorry, the fee schedule would be a resolution because that's temporary and that can be changed. The ordinance is not, so we won't void this one in
2025-03,
yeah.
okay.
Fee schedule, where you should be,
yes.
we should be reviewing the fee schedule.
Okay, so we can. Yeah, and then maybe for the next regular meeting, review the fee schedule. And include that. So we might mold 2025-03 into just, the fee schedule review that we do next meeting. Does that sound all right?
All right.
Okay.
So the fee schedule review would be the 25-03 then?
That would be part of it.
Okay. Okay,
Okay. Well then, if everyone's on board with that, then we'll just move on to item number 11. Resolution 2025-04. Expenditure appropriation transfer resolution.
you may have. Yeah, I-
was thinking.
I think you may have.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay,
I was looking at, is there something different?
yeah, that's.
Okay,
So that one you can,
I can remove it.
yeah,
Okay.
all right. And item. Item number 12, expenditure for the ARPA funds. And this.
So we're not-
Haven't changed any of the errors.
well, and I don't think that we're using that because we're not doing,
Yeah,
we
Mhm.
didn't allocate through that, we did it the other way
yeah,
at the,
yeah, so let's void that one off.
okay.
All right, number 13, council rules of procedure. That was, we were gonna do a whole workshop on that as well.
We went through item by item and made a bunch of changes.
Oh, yeah. So we just.
Is
have
it
to-
done though? Is the changes were made?
They were- That was also done in March.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that resolution needs to be revised with
We
the
just
changes?
need to, I'd like to have the changes that we made be presented as.
Okay,
Yeah, and then we can approve that along with the resolution.
oh, okay.
What
Okay,
this one doesn't.
For procedures.
Yeah, it doesn't say what it's doing.
okay.
So we'll update that for. And I can help you do that, Sharon,
Okay,
make those changes and, get it ready to go for the next regular meeting.
okay.
All right. Agenda item 14, so city wish to implement a flag policy. I just had a whole, email chain on the, mayor's listserv that another city was asking about that same thing. And there's so much different information, and I think it'd be good for us to adopt a policy, but from what I was reading and all the other cities were believing is that only the president and one other person can authorize the American flag at
Okay.
if we have a city flag, then we can lower it.
That, and yes, and that is what, the former city manager had discovered as well.
Yeah.
That, and so that was why the policy was brought up, is that if we want to have a policy to have a city flag, because, added, that would be the policy, is what the policy would be for,
A city flag.
a city flag policy for the our policy that we have now, for the governor sends us a flag notification. And when she sends it, or when it's sent to us, that's when we lower it. That we contact Dennis, he comes down and lowers it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing now for the federal flag. And there was also, when the flag was requested to be lowered at that time, the attorney was contacted and he said that we couldn't lower it. So anyway, so that's what brought that all
I thought I had read somewhere where it says the mayor can order it, so I'll if I can find it, I will bring it, for the next meeting or when we do our workshop.
Mayor can lower the city.
on, the city flag.
Or fundamental. Should the council be directing staff resources and its own resources towards implementing, creating a flag policy, considering the huge number of unfinished work?
Yeah, that's another, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if this is about doing a city flag,
That's all it was.
I don't think it's, necessary.
Because as for the federal flag, we have a policy. And that's when we get a notification, we lower it.
Although designing a city flag would be fun.
Yeah.
I thought that.
This wasn't an issue, it was an issue. When I asked the governor, are you gonna come arrest me? And she said, no. So I think in the situation we did it and lowered the flag, it was worth doing. Because I called them and I asked, are you gonna arrest me if I lower it? She goes, no. Because by the time we get out there, it's up, the day's over.
But without talking, they had contacted everybody in this site as well. So,
All right, well then let's remove that. I think if anything, we didn't welcome signs, so. All right, and then item 15 is where I'll be recusing myself from the conversation, turning over to the president.
We had discussed this before, I believe, about possibly withdrawing this contract. Is that correct? That's what this discussion is about. And so I don't have the numbers from the ARPA funds or where we are as far as the reason for possibly withdrawing. Other than to not spend the money, correct?
Okay, after I talked to Peggy about this, and because you'd like to know the line items, and she is, because we don't have budget to actuals yet. I mean, since December, we haven't even balanced the checkbook, I guess, apparently. We're waiting to do the bookkeeper to, our CPA to balance November, December, so we can take on. I think that this should be continued until we actually have budget to action.
And I think that's what we decided last time. We thought that we should wait until we had some numbers.
And they still don't have them yet. But there is money in the 2025-26. But we have to wait and see what the carryover is from this one. Because we're still waiting from an audit from 24, 20, 23, 24. They haven't done our audit. So we don't know where we're at. But
We're still where we were last month.
yes.
so we need to, I believe we need to continue this out for a month. At least another month, keep it under old business. If the construction company is willing to keep going out, because this needs to be done. Like I said, there's tape on the windows in the senior center, and they are afraid of our.
I believe Mr. Armstrong said he was fine waiting, putting it off. Do it at a later date.
Because she gave me a thing and lesson plan from her on where that it would come out of the capital gain, capital
Yeah.
output plus maintenance.
We push this over to the next month. Hopefully we'll have some numbers to look at.
We have, they'll be, working on that tomorrow. Kurt's or coming to help, do more on the, the budget or the, getting the budget to actuals balanced.
I'll take the reins back. You guys are done? Move on to new business. Item number 16, I think we're gonna wait till Dennis is actually here to honor him. So we'll do that next time. 17, Cheryl Young. 20 plus years.
She had her too, she's not here either, so we'll just hold off on hers as well.
All right. No one else get honored tonight. All right, item number 18, request form, Craig Heimer of Lakeside Disposal to increase waste collection fees. Would you like to come up and speak? Awesome.
Evening, President Meckett, I'm Angie Mott, the office manager for Waste Connections, Lakeside Disposal. So, we presented the packet this year for the CPI adjustment for a request for 2.5%. It landed around 3.1, but we're still trying to come in at 75%. Request. So,
Appreciate, everything you do for the city.
Yes.
it sounds like we're going to be doing for 15.
Thank you so much. People are just asking about that
So
stuff.
September 15th. I have a lot of fun with that one.
It's like a holiday here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. All right, do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the increase in the fees for Lakeside Disposal.
All right. Councilor Quinter has made a motion to approve the increase in fees for Lakeside Disposal, and Councilor Ward has seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Carries. Thank you. All right. Item number 19, adoption of resolution 2025-11, correcting fiscal year 2024-2025 budget resolution. I'm actually just in air of caution. I'm going to recuse myself from this item as well due to a potential conflict of interest. So I will pass it over to Council President.
Okay, I'm looking for it.
It's great. It's that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
This has been an ongoing thing too, hasn't it? Are we where we need to be with it? The corrections made?
This one here, there were two resolutions, 2407, that were signed, and two resolutions with the same number, 2415, that were signed, and they all had clerical errors. And the last one was finally done right, but it was to the wrong budget. It was to the approved budget, not the adopted. So this one here, the budget officer did the figures and they match. And so
This is the corrected version.
this is
Is the corrected version. And we were informed that this is the way that we could do it. to have it, instead of changing resolution numbers or anything like that, just make one resolution.
This lumps. Takes those two and labels them as 2025-11.
So then when we sign this one in this budget year we're currently in, then this is. That we accept resolution 2025-11. A resolution correcting math and clerical errors on resolution 2024-07 and resolution 2024-50.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilor Armstrong and seconded by Councilor Harden to adopt resolution 2025-11. A resolution correcting math and clerical errors from 2024-07 and 2024-15. Any discussion? Further discussion?
Because we need to change it when we're signing.
Okay, so I'll correct that.
Any more discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And one abstain. Okay, motion passes.
Now move into item number 20, council to set a time to review the construction contract and color swatches. So staff is requesting that we have a meeting, a special meeting just to discuss those things. So that would, is there a time frame for that?
Well, I talked to Aaron and the contractor today, and they said there's no hurry on the color swatches, that we can wait until we have the buildings up or whatever, because we received one box of color swatches, but he says by the time the building's up, there might be 10 boxes that we received from them with all different colors and different things. So he said we could wait on that. And so that section of that we can wait on. And then, but the time to set, maybe we could have my idea, I've been doing some research on the contract and things for the contract that we just signed. And I was wondering if basically just wondering if the council would like to have some sort of meeting so they could look at the contract that was signed, find out where we're at exactly on the money that's been spent and different things like that. And if so, if you wanted to direct me to keep looking into that and then us having a meeting and I could bring you what I find.
Would we also discuss, kind of like what we spoke about with Aaron and Business Oregon about the seating of the loan? We could kind of do a little update on that and what that will mean for the city, and hopefully we'll have some more information soon about that kind of stuff. I just talked to Aaron about it today, and he's going to help us submit all those documents to Business Oregon to start applying for the loan. So, okay, are you thinking maybe 2 weeks from now? Would that be all right?
I have quite a bit of things. I have quite a bit of research done already.
Okay.
So it's not going to be much of it won't be hard for me to get it all together. So whatever time frame's good for you guys.
26, is that what that would mean? 2 weeks, you said?
Yeah.
You can also be able, are we gonna do the roof? The roof is gonna be ready to be starting pretty soon, isn't it? And she was gonna drop off a box of color for the roof. We do that at the same time for the community center.
Well, I guess it's probably just up to you. I don't know anything about the swatches or anything for the roof.
Okay.
Who is going to drop off swatches?
The one that Rayburn, I forget, because they had said, when we were working on the ARPA fund,
Mm.
that to pick a color of the roof, and I said, that's like, you have something to choose from, that's a council decision.
So we haven't received anything from them, so we can do it at the same time.
Would be good if we can get.
Cause they would probably need to know sooner, since there were, I think that they were gonna start in July. In the 2026 July to area, what the roof is. So they would probably need to know sooner than the wastewater treatment plant. Because he said that, like he told me today, that there could be 10 boxes of colors and for different areas. The floor, the walls, the roof, all of these different things will need it to be, the colors will need to be picked. So we don't have all that information.
So can we do like, instead of this Monday, next Monday, by chance? Is that fair?
With a budget.
Yeah, the one after that.
Mhm.
The 23rd, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be, yeah. Well, we can put a tentative as soon as we can find out what the, if you, maybe something will come up that's on the 21st, we do have something. It's hard.
I'll just kind of do the 23rd for now,
Okay,
and then, right. Yeah,
and it'll be a meeting, not a work session.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. We'll move on to item number 21, approval of quote for reader board assignment here. A quote in here for the parts that Alan was talking about. Yeah, Paul Tire Power Sports has a lift that he said we can borrow to get us up there to assign, to have someone install it, so we just need to approve the purchase of the part.
Yes, if we can install it ourselves.
Okay.
1643 and 60 cents.
Do I have a motion?
And move we approve, buying the part for the sign and return.
Second,
All right, a motion's been made by Counselor Pointer to approve buying the part for the sign, and Counselor Miller seconded. Any more discussion? All right, moving to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Request from TLBP board, Mike Mader to fill position on the TLBP board. So you're being replaced, huh? Okay.
For life and band practice.
That's fine.
For anyone who would like to do that.
If nobody else wants, does Mike Mayor have anybody in mind?
I don't think so, just a city, a representative from the city.
Fantastic. You do that. All right, do we have to, do I have to officially appoint you or anything like that? All right. Counselor Armstrong's doing that now. All right. Item number 23, discuss lead person at the wastewater treatment plant.
So we have one application. And we were wondering, we have a little bit of discussion as to what we want me to do to move forward with calling him, asking him what he wants. Or do you want me to bring the application to you? What do we do in this situation?
I was under the impression that we hired the city manager and the city manager hires staff.
City reporter, and we're trying to council. So I don't think we should, especially, we don't know what it's salary, because our plant now is gonna be a 2. And so we probably want a 3, not a 4. So I think that there should be some council input on that. Because the whole point is trying to give the power, the authority back to the council.
My only concern with bringing it to the council again is this applicant was very, very, very good. And I would hate to push it out, and he finds something else. So it would, I think it would be wise if we, the city recorder at least reach out to him, or, Sharon, at least reach out to him and
Definitely reach out and tell them that, but are you going to interview them? How much are you going to pay them? I mean, I think those are things.
Well, we could still if I talk to him or them, whatever we could still set up interviews. He wants to do it Zoom or whatever, so that you can actually, I think that he fits the part, but yes, we would have to interview him. And you would interview, the council would interview as well. They've always done that. If
And that's for me, to maybe go ahead and set it up, but I think the council should at least see the application and zoom in on a meeting with them.
and we can do that, because I think that this is a really important position. There are things we're still working on making, because for our new plant and for the construction that we're going through now, it's important that we have like a project manager type as well as a lead person out at the plant. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so
why don't we direct staff to contact the applicant, see about setting up an interview, and then you can get in touch with council about that interview when it will be held.
okay, okay.
That's okay for everyone?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Great. Item number 24, HR services from LCOG. I had touched bases with LCOG a couple months ago when we were having some HR issues, and since we have literally no HR department and our employee handbook is terrible, I really wanted to make sure that we were protecting Lakeside and our staff from anything further happening. So I asked them, they do a third-party HR service, and this is what they came up with. This is the first time I've seen it as well. I do think it's pricey, and it could get really pricey depending on, I see their scope of services, but are they going to be charging $149 an hour to review HR documents? So I think I need to get in touch with them and get a little bit more information, because we don't want a $10,000 a month HR bill. So, yeah. So that's kind of just where I stand on it. Is there any questions or concerns?
Your members.
Of LGPS, we currently are not. We should be, I think, but they asked me when we did the independent investigation if we wanted to join, and I said, I don't think that's up to me. I think it's up to council. So if you guys wanted to be a member, yeah. And they've been helping just through LCOG with a lot of this stuff and not charging us. So I've talked to them quite a bit about different things. So I think that would be a $632 a year for the But we don't have to make that decision right now, if we don't want to, so.
Do you know how much alcohol is to you? I'm just curious. We're ILCOG members, so you know how much they are?
I don't know how much it's. LCOG, I'm not sure about the membership, but I know that we have, I think, aren't they IGAs? Is that the correct acronym or initials? For our attorney and for our planning. And so this would be, and now the IT. That's these that were, so we have little things, I mean, we have contracts or the IGAs for all of those other services. But I don't know if we're truly members.
About that.
Yeah.
We are,
I would think so.
yeah,
That's why,
I don't know what the dues are.
yeah, I don't know if the dues are.
Well, maybe we'll move this to old business until I can get some more information on it.
Okay.
With this here, we should also, I just want to throw this out that we should be looking into our employee handbook about updating it also to have a grievance. We don't have a grievance process in our employee. So that's something that Illinois will need to.
Okay. Yeah, usually you can the most places, the employee handbooks are pretty much made and you just put in your information. Just update them. So that we can look for one that we can look for a policy from some other agency or whatever and put that in there.
All right, we'll move on to item 25, Rainbow Road property. The sale has fallen through with that property, and as per terms of taking those liens off, we need to put them back on. So, we would need to direct staff to do so. And I don't know if we would have to have, yeah, I guess a motion, but anything remedy for good emotions suffice. You think just a motion?
Yeah, just a motion, and then if they need anything else, we can, I think all we do is just go down to the county and file a lien.
Okay.
I know that's how, Andrew and James did it. They just went down and put the liens on properties.
That we instruct staff to reapply the 2 liens that were on the property, the full value of them.
Second,
All right, Councilor Armstrong has made a motion to reapply the full value of the liens on the Rainbow Road property, and Councilor Miller has seconded. Any more discussion?
Discussion is not correct. The intent, as I understand it, is not to extract penalties from the property owner, but to clean it up.
Mhm.
At a recent meeting, Councilor Miller made a fantastic suggestion of, let's put a dumpster there and have volunteers come out and clean it up. I think at this point, something like that could be successful. I don't think putting the assessments back on the property is resulting.
Yeah, from what I heard from the person who's purchasing the property, it's essentially that property is just never gonna be sold because there was another lien found on it. So it's, you know, so even putting the liens back on is a little futile because I don't think we'll be recouping that money.
Yeah.
I think the only concern with putting a dumpster there and volunteers is the hazard that is there now. And I don't know if you could just have a normal cleanup crew go do that, especially after the fire and stuff, so. But I think that's a great idea. I mean, we have money in the budget for code enforcement and things, and that would be a good option. I think for the sake of just keeping our word as council, putting the liens back on. It's still a good idea, and then if we wanted to clean up the property. We could do that anyways.
It could probably be both.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because there might be a way that at a previous time, the county was going to foreclose on it. And there might be something there. They were going the next day to foreclose. So they must know, there must be a way to do it because they wouldn't have been gone to that step. So can be something we can look at in the future to see if we can maybe talk them into it again.
Does anybody know how much the other lien is?
Say 40.
Yeah, I think she told me at one point it was pretty high.
I want to say she told me 40.
So it would be important for us, and this is just a statement, I like the idea of, if we ever can get the dumpster and clean up, but it's important to keep the lien on it because once it is cleaned up, the original lien holder could file paperwork, I believe, with the courts to take over that property, for the 40,000, and that would be really good for it. So
That person's,
so it's through the state,
it's a huge legal mess.
but it could be done here. Somebody could. So it's just good to keep us covered, but then we do the other part. See about cleaning up it, however we can do that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree about putting it back on.
Any further discussion? All right, we'll move into a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, great. All right, we'll move into our Lakeside District Board and Committee reports. Nobody. Watershed. Nope.
No.
All right, Water District.
The water district is in the process of replacing a major filter in the plant, and we approved at the last meeting $107,000 to do that. And that's something we need to do every 10 years, so that is taking place. They are waiting for the results of the election. They had 2 open positions with nobody signed up, and they got 63 write-ins for one of them and 38 for the other. So the county has to determine if any of those people actually won the election. But time will tell on that, and that's an exciting part of the meeting.
Just on that note, Councilor Pointer, I think, Curtis Kelly was telling me that he thinks it would be very beneficial for the city of Lakeside, council and the water board to work together to see about,
It's a wonderful dream.
and I don't know if,
Traditionally, that's been just about impossible, but
maybe we could, I mean, if council's on board with it, we can see about starting those discussions if you wanted to put me in touch with someone, or we could, I don't know how that begins, but I think it's good to start talking about how we can work together to simplify a lot of things for.
I guess soon we'll learn to say that.
Yeah, I'll do that when I get my water bill. Okay. 10 Mile Lakes Association.
They met on June 4th. They reported on the April lake cleanup. They were a bit disappointed in the turnout. They said the weather was too cold, too wet, too windy. As a result, they didn't have as many volunteers as they usually do. But they did collect 1 dumpster load of material. 1 dumpster load is there are some areas in the lakes that are open for use by wake boats and other areas that are not. And maps of the area where wake boats are allowed have been placed County Park at Lake RV Park. And upcoming dates, their July meeting is canceled because it was too close to the July 4th holiday. Their next meeting is going to be August 6th at 5:30 PM in the Lakeside Lodge. They were under the impression that large item pickup day for trash was gonna be August 23rd. But we heard from the trash company tonight that they're September 13th. So date uncertain, but whenever it happens, the 10 Mile Lake Association is hopeful that properties on the lake shore will take advantage to remove large items that they start. And, also in September on the 27th at 5 PM at the Lakeside Lodge, the association will be holding its annual history dinner. Their major fundraising for every year.
Good.
Section E, I'm gonna put our city manager hiring committee. For a little update. Is that all right? No? Sorry, I should have thought.
Okay, we met, Alan and Adam, Counselor Pointer and myself, we met, and also Curtis was here. We, made a few corrections on what the council had written over it. We fixed that. Then we had a list of where we were going to, there was like 5 or 6 places we were going to post it. I have posted on Omar, but,
And I posted on LOC. And I tried to, I called the LCOG and they said we had to be members of something in order to put it on LCOG. And then I tried to get one onto the unemployment website, but I need a BIN number. And it says, click here to find out what your BIN number is. And then I didn't help at all. So I've left messages to try to get somebody to call me back on that. And then when Curtis was here the other day, he gave me a couple little other Washington.
like they're like Omar.
They're like Omar, but they're from the Washington State areas.
And the first review date was the 24th, but that, we haven't gotten any applications, so.
We don't have any applications. I had, there was a gentleman that came in and I talked him into taking an application. But, and he seemed like, yeah, so, he hasn't returned it, and then I sent him the link to the website so he could review it as well. But he hasn't called back or contacted me. But with that being said, we'll get into when I get into my staff report, I'll probably tell you why.
Moving to the fire district, Councilor Quinn.
Well, the construction on the new fire station, or the seismic remodel of the fire station has begun. And you'll see fire trucks parked outside and you'll see things going on, they are inside already. That's gonna go on through about October. And so some of the meetings that we do there will take place other places and we'll have to look at it. This last month, we had 42 calls and 17 of them were on the north side of the tracks. Because we need another station. So,
Great. Councilor Hand isn't here for the LBO. Code enforcement is still not been started back up. Senior board.
We had the meeting on Tuesday. There was several things. They went up to the Three Rivers Casino and they had a big award ceremony where 300 applications and 60 of them received grants, and there were fire departments and police department, there was a lot of people there receiving the big, huge check. They give us, years pantry received a $10,000 grant. The 4 board members went and they said they had lunch and it was really, really nice. And they joked about how we're gonna cash this big check. Then, they are planning a community potluck in August 9th. It's a social where they don't want to, they're trying, I believe personally, they're trying to get away with senior, like it's a community breakfast and you're going to see new signs out. That Linda and Rudy Sherrick painted and we built. They're really light, so they're easy to handle and they're now community breakfast. And it's really kind of cool. They have the pancake on them and the amount. Kids under 6, 6 and under 3, adults are 5, 6, and seniors are 5. And the next one breakfast is July 12th, 8:30 to 11. They finished the floor grant, and that was that $25,000 they received. And part of the grant they wrote in there, and that's why she spoke tonight, is to say that the city was doing the roof, the electrical, and repairing the windows, and they used that to help get the grant. And so they wrote that in their grant paperwork. So for them is a top priority to get that done. And it's not just, the windows are not just this community center, it's also 1 or 2 in the library and then ours here. So, they are also, the potluck is on August 9th. It's a social gathering and it is going to be the second Saturday in August. And they're looking at 11 o'clock-ish to start and eat at noon. They're going to be putting signs up and letting everybody know. And they said you can bring anything. Just if you bring something, they say rolls, they don't care, but it's a community potluck.
I wonder if that coincides with like National Night Out. Because we used to do things and that was in August. And if we could,
National Night Out is usually a Tuesday night in August, like first or second
Oh, okay.
Tuesday.
yeah, I was just wondering, because Andrew used to have, we'd have the big potlucks for that. I think so. But anyway, just a thought. So we have 2.
The senior breakfast is July 12th.
Right, library board?
The summer reading program is coming up now that it's summer. The kids, well, that usually happens Tuesdays at 1. It will replace story time, right?
Summer program is gonna be Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, okay. So will regular story time still be on Tuesdays or will that not exist? So it'll just be and that starts in 2 weeks.
Starts, first.
There we go. Okay, I thought there it is. Okay. June 18th, the program starts.
And it's a painting.
Okay. Yeah, so they've got magicians, ventriloquists, there's a hula hoop workshop, painting. I know there's an adult painting class next week.
That's the 18th as well. That's in the evening.
Yeah.
And
And perfect. And then the kids' summer lunch program starts, and that is going to be at 11 o'clock daily, 11 to 11:10. It's 1 meal per child. And that's, every day. And lots of really cool stuff. Cooking, origami.
the teen program.
Oh, the teen program's Friday nights,
Friday
afternoons.
Friday afternoon. Right? And it's gonna be cooking.
Okay. Yeah, lots of really awesome stuff going on at the library. And also, the Friends of the Library have done a great job, and the Ford Family Foundation has sponsored a lot of the programs.
Awesome. When did we start before?
Oh, okay. This is the right part. So, and for next up, the planning commission needs to be added to the agenda for their reports that they used to be done historically. So I just noted that. And then, so we have our new employee, Amanda Chavez is back working. Good. And, has uploaded the videos to the YouTube. And then I believe Alan has uploaded them to the website for the budget meetings. And so I just wanted to say that the last 2 weeks have been a very hectic time. We had lost emails, access to our shared drives. Emails were emailed but not delivered, shortcuts removed, and it's been a mess. But with our fingers crossed, possibly everything's okay, but we're still putting a lot of things back onto our system. It wasn't just a simple email address. They wiped out everything on our computers. And so anyway, and our new domain change is cityoflakesideoregon.gov for our emails, and eventually they're going to change it on the website as well. The same thing. Let's see. Oh, and then if we have any more event applications, we need to make sure that we inform the post office and the fire department, especially the fire department. Let's see if we have any, okay, and then state mandated e-permitting is now up and running, and contractors, homeowners, and applicants are required to access e-permitting to obtain building permits. And we're going to get the information over to Alan to upload that into onto the website. So they go to the website, they click the button for e-permitting. And that was, thankfully, Michelle's taking that over because I couldn't grasp it. I've done it, I've operated it, I've issued permits, so I know how, but there's a lot of other things. And the budget books have been assembled. They were in the counselors' boxes. Our meeting is on June 16th at 6 o'clock for the possible adoption of the budget. We had our groundbreaking today, and I wanted to thank everybody who came, and I also wanted to thank Shirley Bennell for making the flyer. When I was given that task and I thought, who could do this? I thought, I know, Shirley. So she jumped right on it, got it done. And and we're about to get we finally think we have everything. Tom and I have everything signed for the remote capture at the bank. The banks, there was a lot of things that we had to sign. So I think we're ready for that. And then again, asking for help to clean the bars. That's my report.
All right. I have a few announcements. I wanted to remind everyone we had a town hall 2 weeks ago or last week. And it went great. Everyone in the audience was fantastic, asked great questions. The sheriff's office came and talked about kind of the project that we wanted to work on, which was the rural policing district. And I'm hoping to continue the conversations and do more things like that. So it was really, really good to get the community out, a lot of new faces as well. So we will be doing more of those. I was going to touch on our new email accounts, but Karen already did. And Karen covered that. Was approached by a engineering company about the possibility of building a fish hatchery on 10 Mile Lake and bringing the salmon back to Lakeside.
Wow.
Which would be spectacular. So he's already got plans drawn up, and but it was just more of a conversation to see if, he would even want to work with the city and things like that. So it's just still really early phases, but it made me excited about the possibilities. So we might be having discussions about that in the future. And that's kind of all I had as far as announcements. Moving to council comments. Councilor Miller?
The groundbreaking was a great thing today. I'm excited to finally get to that point. So looking forward to that rolling along. Glad to have Amanda back. I come down here pretty regular and see, I'm just still surprised at how busy this place is down here. So the extra help is greatly needed here. So I think you guys are all doing a great job. Yeah, and it was good to see little hustle bustle downtown today and people getting ready for the Experience Lakeside event this weekend, and a lot of action going on. Yeah, but looking for a good summer.
Tom said a lot of things that I was gonna say. And also I was gonna say that our town hall went really, really well. I was really impressed with, the audience. The Coos County, was it the commissioners? No, somebody, Chris, it was Chris Nelson. He had said that it was the calmest, city meeting he'd ever been to regarding public safety, which was pretty cool. Looking forward to Experience Lakeside this weekend. And I think that's all I have.
Yeah, I kind of already said some of the things I wanted to touch on. And I'm really excited for Experience Lakeside. Let's spruce up our places and get them all ready to go, show off our town. I think that's about it. And thank you for staff working hard. I really appreciate everything you guys do, and people commenting tonight. It's great. So yeah, thank you.
I just want to take a second and thank Sharon, Michelle, and now Amanda for all the work they do here. And it's nice to finally be giving them something accomplished and getting it off the list. It just is really great that all the work you're putting in, and just appreciate it. The work people to move forward and take things on and remove old stuff off our plate.
Also like to acknowledge staff, so I know from personal experience that you're all doing too many things without enough resources. Appreciate you getting that.
Well, I certainly also thank your staff. And thank people for showing up tonight. That's great. I also wanted to mention, and I forgot to say on my fire department report, the fire department here got a $12,000 grant from the program that Councilor Armstrong was talking about.
Well, if that's it, I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 7:21 p.m.